Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today it's actually something a little bit different. It's a re-upload video. I think it might have been 9 years ago. I stood sort of in the same place in the warehouse with a Hoppley in bits in front of me, and we basically put it together, showing you how to build a basic unicycle. Now, with it being 9 years ago, it was filmed on a potato. The quality's really bad. The sound's not amazing. But it's still a very important video of how to basically put a unicycle together. So we thought we would redo it again with a new camera, new audio, and a new Hoppley. So in front of me here is everything that you get in a box. I've saved you stripping all the packaging off, but obviously you get a wheel, a pair of pedals, pair of bearing holders, quick release clamp, the frame, a saddle and seat post, and then you get your fittings, so nuts, washers, bolts, a little business card to show you where the assembly instructions are, obviously if you're not watching this video. And then to put it together, you're going to need some tools. So you're going to need a 10mm spanner or socket. I've got a socket here. You're going to need a bicycle pump. This is one of ours, to obviously pump the tyre up. And then you're going to need a pedal spanner. This is one of our little rider's tools that you get. Some of these you get in the boxes with the unicycle, but with this one you don't. And as well, what I'm going to do is I've got a little camera here so I can show you up close little bits and pieces as I'm putting the unicycle together, so you can see as the bearing holders go on and as I tighten the bolts up and things like that. Other than that, let's put this unicycle together, right? Here's the camera view. So what we're going to be doing first is we're going to be taking this wheel and we're going to be putting the frame on with the bearing holders and the bolts. And then obviously we're going to use the spanner or the ratchet to tighten that up. So for now, I don't need these pedals, so I'll put them over there. And we can put the frame on. So first, what you need to be look out for is for basic unicycles and people that have only put a unicycle together for the first time, is these unicycles have a left and a right. So you can see on the cranks there's a little left logo, and on the frames there's a little left logo. So the most important thing when you're putting this wheel in is to put the wheel in the right way around, so the lefts match up and the rights match up. Yeah. Then if we get that set down there just like that, then you take one of your bearing holders and this slots over the bottom like that. Then if you get a little bolt and slide that bolt in, and then you get, oh, that fell off that. Come back here. Put that back on there. Get your little washer, get your little nut and thread that on there. I'll just get hold of the little camera, give you a bit more of a close-up of that. So you can see I've slipped the bearing holder over the bearing and I've put the bolt through and put a little washer and the nut. One little thing to note about these bolts, on the little bolt there is a little tab. Can you see that? That little tab slots into the frame just there like that. I'll get this in like that, put another washer and another bolt on. Now though, these are nylock bolts, so they've got a little bit of plastic in the end, so you'll tighten them up so far and then they'll go tight. And this is to stop the bolts coming loose and rattling loose. So get your spanner or ratchet and then you just want to tighten these up. And what you're looking for is these to be even. You don't want one side tightened down really tight. The bearing holders should never be touching. There should be an even space between the two. So just give this a little bit more of a nip up. And there you go, you can see that that's tightened up. And then we'll flip it over and we'll do the other side. So remember, little bolt goes in, locks into that little tab so it doesn't spin round. Take your washer, put it on there with your little bolt, tighten it up until it goes tight. That's it, into the little nylock bit of plastic. Same on the other side. you go, you're looking for a nice even spacing between the two, and obviously this is the left side of the unicycle and this is the right side of the unicycle, and we'll go in a bit closer so you can see all the right side, and you can see that them bolts are tight and there's a nice even space between the two, and that's sort of how it should look. When you've got the bearing holes in, you should be able to spin the wheel and it spins nicely and comes to a gradual stop, something like that. If you spin the wheel and it stops pretty much immediately, the bearing holes are too tight and you want to loosen them off. Right, next we take our quick release clamp, open the lever up, and there's a little collar on the inside of these, so that goes over the top of the frame and sits down on the top of the frame so it doesn't push past it with the lever open. Then take your saddle and seat post, slide that in there and close the clamp. See, obviously that is too loose and it's not holding the saddle, so what you want to do is wind the little wheel at the back of the clamp to get a bit of tension where you can close the clamp and it keeps hold of the seat post. Something like that. A good way to know the front and back of the saddle, if it's the smaller bit at the front and the bigger bit at the back. There you go, it's starting to look a bit more like a unicycle now, isn't it? Next, or finally I should say, it's pedals. And like when we put the frame on, these have got a left and a right side, and obviously we try and put little R's and L's on everything so it's really obvious. So we'll take our right pedal, wind that into the crank, and then take a little pedal spanner and wind this up. And tight. Flip the unicycle over. Same thing again. Pedal spanner goes over the little thingy, and I can just wind this pedal around so it tightens into the crank. So wind these down. Nice little trick when the unicycle is built correctly, so right, left side, when the unicycle is nose down, if you want to tighten the pedals, you push forwards on both sides, and if you want to loosen the pedals, you pull them backwards. Okay? Obviously if the unicycle is built correctly, which this one is. And that is pretty much it. That's how you put together a very basic unicycle. Obviously the other little thing you would have to look at is a bit of tire pressure. One of our Unicycle.com pumps or any other normal Schrader valve pump you can use that with. If the rider is a little bit shorter, you can cut a bit off this seat post with a hacksaw or anything like that. We've got a video on that. I'll put a link in the top corner to that. But other than that, that's how you put together a basic unicycle. If you've got any questions or things you would like to know about other different products in the store, please leave them in the comments below. I think it changes every time I ask you, but if you could like, share, subscribe, that whole YouTuber thing, you know it by now. But other than that, thanks for watching, guys.